So in previous class, we have already discussed about the issues which we are going to cover in physical layer. So which includes characteristics, representation of data, and data rate synchronization, about line configurations, physical topology, and transmission modes. This is what we have discussed in previous class, which is one of the first layer in OSI model. Next, we talk about the next layer, that is data link layer. So now, a data link layer is existed in between network layer and physical layer. So data link layer will provide the input for physical layer by taking the data from the network layer. So whenever it got the data from network layer, it is going to prepare frames for the packets which are coming from the network layer. Now, after preparing the packets, those packet frames, those are sent to physical layer, and which is transformed into zeros and ones, depends on the medium we use for connecting the two physical devices. This way, network layer position is existed. Now, let us get into the issues related to network layer, data link layer. So in case of data link layer, it is making use of a method called hope to hope delivery model. Why I am talking about hope to hope means, in this case, data link layer is existed at each and every node present in the entire network. Each and every node present in the entire network means, data link layer functionalities are required at intermediate router, data link layer functionalities are required at intermediate switch. Likewise, data link layer is existed at each and every node. So that is the reason this is making use of a method called hope to hope delivery model. So it is concerned about when a data is sent from anti system A to the intermediate router B. So if you observe here, from A we have one link between A and B systems. So now the entire responsibility, like how the data is moving from NDA system to router B, is taken care by this data link layer. So in the form of error control, in the form of flow control, or in the form of this segment fragmentation. Likewise, all the activities are taken care by this data link layer. And whenever again the data is received properly at this intermediate system called B, again it is going to forward the data from B system to C or E. That depends on the algorithms what we use, B to either C or B to E. Depends on the shortest path algorithms. Likewise, data link layer makes use of a method called hope to hope delivery. But the first one, what we call application layer and presentation layer, session layer, all these things are comes under peer-to-peer delivery model. Meaning of that one is those layers are existed at end systems, not in the intermediate stages. In intermediate devices, three layers are existed: physical layer, data link layer, and network layer. Remaining four are existed at only end systems. So that is the reason those are called as end-to-end communication, and now these are called as hope-to-hope or host-to-host communication. And next slide, see this one. So data link layer basically deals with the physical addresses, whereas network layer deals with the logical addresses. So which IP address is given to a system, and from which system data is moving. All these things are recorded in the form of logical addresses at network layer. Once you find the network layer logical address, that should be assigned, that should be attached to a physical address. That duty is taken care by this data link layer. So if you observe in this method, so there is a system which is having IP address, which is a logical address, MAC, which is a physical address. So when a frame is prepared by this data link layer, so whatever the data coming from the above layers is added with physical layers. So if you observe here, this packet we are getting from the network layer, and that packet is added with this mission addresses MAC1 and MAC2 are prepared at a data link layer, and then it is called as a frame. Then it is called as a frame. Now we will see how it is working. See this one. Data link layer making first responsibility is framing. Framing in the sense the packets coming from the above layer, network layer, are grouped into one unit and named it as a frame. And then that frame is attached with physical addresses. And there is one more issue to be addressed by data link layer is access method. Access method in the sense when we have only one channel, which is used by many systems, then in that case, data link layer ensures at what time that link is available, at what time that is busy. Based on that scenarios only, the system is going to push that content onto the link. So this way, access method. There are many methods like time division protocol or frequency division protocols. Based on such kind of protocols, the data is pushed onto link. So this way, physical addressing is added, framing is done, and then access method. How that channel is accessed is decided by this data link layer. So now here we will observe all the properties one by one, which we have discussed earlier. Framing means when the data is coming from the above layers, all the packets are not coming in the same order, may come in different way, and then what it is going to do is it is going to group all the packets into an individual unit called as a frame, and every frame should be given with an address that we call it as a physical address. MAC addresses are identified and attached, and data link layer is responsible for one more functionality called as a flow control. Flow control means when two systems are connected to a link, both need not to have same configuration. So both need not to have same configuration. So in flow control, if two systems are not having same capability, then there is a problem of synchronization problem. Like I may speak a little bit faster, you may not understand. Then there is no use of delivering such a content to you. So what we need to do in general means, based on your requirement, like how you listen, how you understand, based on those properties only I use it to talk. If it is so, then my words are reaching you. Otherwise, it is a waste of time and waste of efforts. Similar way, if two computers are connected, one is i5, one is normal P1 or P2 processor, then there should be a synchronization of data between these two systems. That is taken care by data link layer. That concept we call it as a flow control. How the data is moving from one system to another system, and if the system is not having buffer space to accommodate that incoming data, and what the sender system is doing. The sender system is waiting to get the buffer at receiver, or if it is continuously sending. If it is continuously sending, then it is loss of data. It is going to lose the content. That's the reason there should be a mechanism based on the capabilities of two end devices that data should be flowed. Next one is error control. As we are in a real-time environment, this error control we need to take care, because there are a lot of noises introduced in the middle when the data is moving through physical medium or air medium. There are a lot of noise. So due to that noise, there are many disturbances came into picture. One of the disturbances, your data may be lost. That is first one. Your data is added with the additional data. That is second one. And your data is corrupted and sent. This is third one. Likewise, there is many forms of errors. So all these errors has to be caught. And there is one more thing to be addressed: duplicate data. See, what we do is we send a packet to a system, but there is a delay in the acknowledgement. The system has not given any acknowledgement. So what we are trying to do is we think of my data is not reached. That's the reason I didn't get any acknowledgement. So in that case, what we will do as a sender means we try to send the packet again. But your first packet is already on its way because of some internal problems. It is not moving in that faster manner. Then what happens means at destination site, both packets are arrived. Packet 1 is arrived at T1 time, packet 1 is again arrived at T2 time. So if packet is arrived at twice, the receiver should have a capability of recognizing this packet is already came. So we need to consider it as a duplicate one and ignore it. If it is not, then there is a confusion that which packet is good and which packet is bad. So this way, error control has to look into all kind of issues, and there is One more called access control. If there is multi-point channel means one channel is used by more than two systems. In that cases, who has to use that line at what time? Is it timely based, or is it need based, or is it priority based? Likewise, there exist many scenarios in which this access control can be implemented. So these are basic issues which has to be addressed by data link layer in this networking model. Now coming to next layer, that is network layer. So network layer basic functionality is routing the packet. Network layer basic functionality is routing the packet towards destination. And we may be surprising that how network layer is going to decide the destination at this first path, or the destination is at second path. Means every router in the intermediate network mode, every router is going to maintain some information called as routing table. Routing table will give you the entire topology and architecture of that network model, like how many nodes are there, which are connected to which, in which path the shortest distance is there, and which system is busy and which system is ideal. Likewise, lot of information is recorded at routers. That information we call it as a routing table information. This routing table information is useful for the network layer in order to make a decision to push that packet towards destination. So coming to the position of the network layer is present in between transport layer and data link layer. As we have just now come across data link layer. So input to the data link layer at sender side. See, if you observe this diagram, this left hand side one is sender side diagram and right hand side one is the destination side diagram. So whatever the services we talk here, these all are reversed at this side. Meaning of that one is, here transport layer is giving input to network layer and network layer output is given to data link layer. And in case of receiver, it is coming from bottom to top approach. Data link layer will give the input to network layer. After processing, that data is given to transport layer. This is the order how this functionality is flows from sender side to destination side or receiver side. Okay. So here, when a network layer, when we are talking about network layer, the data unit name is packet, and when we talk about the data link layer, the unit name is frame, and when we talk about transport layer, the unit name is segment. Likewise, there are some predefined words we need to understand in which layer the names of the data units. Okay, now we call it as a packet. So how packet is prepared means, packet is prepared by taking the segments from the transport layer by adding the header. Now what header is added by network layer means this routing information, like from which system the data is coming, in the form of logical addresses, not in the form of physical addresses. So in network layer, always the network layer is bothered about what? Logical addresses. Logical addresses means IP addresses. Every system is assigned with IP address, and that IP address is added to the segments coming from the Evo layer. So this way, network layer is present between transport layer and data link layer. Coming to the model deployed by the network layer. So which kind of delivery model is used by the network layer is, network layer making use of a method called source to destination delivery model. The name itself indicating the responsibility of the network layer is not ended in two end devices for a link. Meaning of that one is, if your system is connected to a router, the successful communication between your system and router is taken care by the data link layer. That is the reason that is called as host to host. One, A to B. Successful transmission is taken care by the data link layer, but the job is over at data link layer. But now, from this position where I have to go is taken care by the network layer. At every node, network layer functionality is existing, because in order to reach the destination, at each and every step we need to find out or calculate best path in which way we reach the destination. So this way, network layer is responsible to deliver the packet from source to destination. Data link layer is responsible to deliver the packet from one system to other system which is connected to the link, one system to other system, meaning one to one. But in case of network layer, it is not like that. Network layer must exist at each and every layer so that the packet is properly moved towards the destination. So if you observe this diagram, hope to hope delivery model means this one. If you take A and if you take B, the successful communication between A and B is called as hope to hope. And similarly, B to E, let us say the path is selected, B to E path is selected. Then that also called as hope to hope. These all are taken care by data link layer. Again, E to F, again that is hope to hope delivery model. But from starting point means end system A to and end system F, that entire communication we call it as source to destination delivery model. So that is the delivery model adapted by the network layer in order to push the packet towards its destination. So if you observe this layered architecture, see this. When data is coming from network layer, it is passed through data link layer, physical layer at one system, and whenever it is transferred to the nearby node, again all the three functionalities are taken here like physical layer, data link layer, network layer. Now network layer will calculate the next route address. Again the data is transferred to that next route. Again here at system E, network layer will find out the next route, next node address, that is F. Again the data is transferred like a flow in between network layer, data link layer and physical layer. This way network layer is making use of hope source to destination delivery model. Okay. So now in next slide we will see the responsibilities. One more responsibilities that we have already seen. Network layer is always bothered about logical addresses. It never bothers about the physical addresses because network layer output is given to the data link layer so that their physical addresses are added. At network layer side, it never bothers about the physical addresses. Okay. So what is logical address means? Logical addresses comes in two flavors. In early days, we used to have IPv4 addresses, and nowadays we are making use of IPv4 as well as IPv6 also. The basic idea behind these two logical addresses is length of the IP address. Length of the, see if you go for IPv4, it is 132 bits of IP address is given. With 32 bits, we can address up to 2 power 32 systems. But 2 power 32, if 2 power 32 is not enough for your entire network, then what we need to go is we need to go for a bigger IP address. That bigger IP address we call it as IPv6, which is making use of 128 bits, and 2 power 128 bits out 2 power 128 addresses are not in use now. So some portion of that address is only in use, and some of them are reserved for the future use. Likewise, when you want to deal with bigger networks, you should have a bigger logical address. That bigger logical address is IPv6. That is, for small organization like us, institutes, IPv4 is well enough to recognize devices in a logical way. And we use mask. There is one more concept called mask in order to create your own subnet. So I have 10 systems, I want to create subnet, but these 10 systems are addressed with only one address from external board. External board never sees all these 10 systems individually. These 10 systems should be recognized like one unit. In that cases, we make use of mask. That is, your IP address is divided into two parts called as host address and network address. In order to identify which part is host address, which part is network address, that is taken care by a mask. Okay. So this way, logical address is one of the responsibility of network layer. And there is one more we already talked, routing. Routing means if you are having multiple paths from a node, if we have multiple paths, multiple outgoing paths from a node, we need to decide on which outgoing path we can reach the destination. There are some possibilities on two paths also we can reach the destination, but out of those two paths, which is best according to our requirement? If your requirement is distance, which is best? If your requirement is processing time or delay, which is best? Likewise, there exist many routing algorithms which are going to work in different directions. That depends on your need. If delay is your concern, you may select one. delay is not a concern, let it go, but accuracy or reliability is my concern, then we will choose one more protocol. Like this, selecting a protocol plays major role to push your packet from source to destination. And then we have one more. See this one. In this diagram also you can understand. We want to find a path between two systems. See, this system is recognized with one IP address, logical. This we call it as a logical address, and the P system also recognized with one more logical address, and those are communicating through a network. Those are communicating through a network. By finding it, actually there are many paths, like there is one network, there is another network, there is another network. So this path is calculated based on some routing protocols. So there are many routing protocols available. Let me see. So some of the protocols, OSPF is one protocol, BGP Border Gateway Protocol, EASY protocol, open source shortest path protocol. Like this, there exist many routing algorithms to find out the best path between source and destination, otherwise receiver and sender. This way network layer is existed and its functionalities are existed. Now coming to transport layer, and now transport layer is making use of which type of communication? Means it is peer-to-peer communication. Transport layer is existed at the source and destination. It is not existed at the intermediate nodes, because there is no need of transport layer in the intermediate router, because we are not delivering the entire unit to intermediate nodes. Our objective is to deliver our data unit to the end system. For example, if I type, say, let us say I have typed hi in my WhatsApp application, and that has to be displayed at a WhatsApp application which is installed on the destination. So in the middle there is router is there, switch is there, gateways are there, hubs are there. These devices are not having WhatsApp application. We try to understand those things. So intermediate devices are having only 3 layers for the communication. Those are physical layer, data link layer, and network layer. And then when data reaches you at the destination, then we need to decide to which application this data has to be delivered. If you consider an example, like we have a system in which multiple applications are installed, like Facebook is one application, WhatsApp is another application, Gmail is another application. Now what we are trying to do is we are running all these 3 applications at the same time. It means these 3 applications are generating the data. When these 3 applications are generating the data, this data is gathered into one unit. This data from Facebook, data from WhatsApp, and data from Gmail, everything is grouped into one unit. So that is transferred over the network. Now whenever it comes to the destination, at destination side, the system should recognize which part of the data belongs to WhatsApp, which part of the data belongs to Facebook, which part belongs to Gmail. This way, transport layer should recognize which part of the data has to deliver to which application. That we call it as portal addresses. We call it as port addresses. Generally all applications runs on port addresses now. So previous to this layer, our problem is how our data is moving from one system to another system. Okay, we got our data at a destination side. Once data is received at a destination side, how it is reassembled, like how it is splitted into different units and given to different applications. That responsibility is taken care by transport layer. So come to the position of the transport layer. Transport layer exists between session layer and network layer. Again, data is, see, if you observe here, we have 3 portions of data. Meaning of that one is you are getting data from different applications from the same system. We are running one system and data coming from one application, likewise all the data are coming from different applications and all are gathered and prepared a data unit called as a segment. And every segment is added with information, like which port number is added to this data and which port number is added to second unit of data and first unit of data. Likewise, every data is recognized with its port number. Adding this port number concept is done by the transport layer. That we call it as a control information. Which control information is added by this transport layer means data coming from different applications. So data and port numbers are combined. Data and port numbers are combined to recognize it as a segment. Once it is done, it is going to transfer that one to network layer. Again, these segments are transferred into packets. These segments are transferred into packets. So this way, transport layer is existed between session layer and network layer. So in next slide, so it makes use of a delivery model called process to process delivery model. So process to process delivery model means if a system is running 3 processes at source side, and these 3 processes are sending the data, so this data is combined and sent to the destination. Once it reaches at a destination, again the same data is split into 3 units, and which unit is given to which process is taken care by the transport layer. So transport layer make use of a method called process to process delivery model. So reaching the destination from source is called as this one, host to host delivery, and reaching the data from one node to another node called as hop to hop, like we have seen in previous slides. In data link layer, it is responsible for moving the data between one node and another node. That's it. And if you take network layer, it is taking the data from source to destination. So means total journey is taken care by the network layer. That's the reason it is called as a method called host to host delivery model. Once reaching the host, again we need to identify the application to which data has to be transferred. That is taken care by the transport layer. That model we call it as a process to process delivery model. So now one of the job of the transport layer is segmenting. Segmenting in the sense when data is coming from the different applications, the data has to be grouped. So all Facebook data is grouped into one unit and given with one port number, and all WhatsApp data is given with one data unit and it is given with one more port number. Likewise, based on the application from where data is coming, port numbers are assigned. So this way, segmentation is done in transport layer. So this is one of the job of the transport layer. And one more thing is flow control also. When two systems are not compatible with each other, again flow control, again we need to do. See, actually flow control is taken care by the data link layer, but data link layer flow control belongs to link to linker. Meaning of that one is if there is a link in between those two ND devices, that flow control is taken place, but not between process to process. This process is sending the data. The process at the receiver has to receive in the same order. That job we call it as a flow control under transport layer. I repeat, flow control is existed at a different stages. Flow control in data link layer means it is belongs to link. It is belongs to one link. Flow between one link. But in case of flow control of transport layer, this is responsible for one process to another process on one system to process on another system. Is these two processes are synced to each other or not? Such kind of things are taken care by flow control in transport layer. Okay, if it is speed, if it is slow, then automatically it is going to cut down the transmitting speed of the sender if it is having more speed compared to the receiver. Likewise, this flow control will work under transport layer. Again here, again error control we have. Error control at a process level. When I say in my WhatsApp, I say hi, good morning, and okay, it is carried over the network properly and reaching the destination. But in the process of dispatching the data, at a destination, hi, instead of hi, good morning, hi is given, and some of the content is missing. Let us say it may be accidentally given to some other application, hi and morning. So then it is not the one which is sent from the original process from source. So error control is again taken care at process level also. What process is saying, what the receiving process is receiving. Those two must be same. And error control in data link layer means it is different. Error control in data link layer means between two nodes, is there any physical disturbances or noise added or data removed or data duplicated, such kind of things are controlled by data link layer error control method. But in case of error control of transport layer, it is making use of process to process error control. If one process says something, the same has to receive at the other end. Though your data received properly at the node, and then when you are doing dispatch, if something goes wrong, then again it is a headache. That's the reason at dispatch level also error control is taken care. That is taken care by the transport layer. So this way transport layer is useful. And some of the issues, finally, let me conclude this transport layer issues. The addresses used in transport layer. The addresses used in transport layer means every process is given with an address called port number. You have, for example, if you have mail runs on one protocol, let us say World Wide Web, it runs on one more protocol. If you take any other application, every application you take, database in a system or any servers, all are running on port numbers. So transport layer always recognizes the data from different processes in the form of port addresses. That we call it as service point addressing, means port addresses. And then one more job of this data link layer is segmentation. How these segments are prepared means these segments are prepared from the data coming from different processes. Segments are prepared from the data which is coming from different processes. And assembling and deassembling, these two. Assembling means at sender side it is assembled, and whenever it is reaching the destination, again it has to be properly reassembled. Then we just now talk about connection control. In transport layer works in both models, like connection oriented and connection less also. In connection oriented, what protocols it has to be followed, and in connection less. In connection less, generally we use UDP, uniform data transfer, and connection oriented we make use of TCP protocol. So this way, which protocol has to be deployed, whether it is a connection oriented or connection less communication we are doing, that also handled here. And flow control, error control, it depends. It is application or process level flow control and process level error control. These are the issues which are addressed at a transport layer. Okay. So let us stop up to this point, and the remaining topics we will see in next class.